And away we go. It is a live nightcap, weekend edition, right here on BearcatJournal.com, www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Go to the website, get the app. Go to the app. They will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. Or you can make it down to Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. All right, Aaron, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, just another day in paradise.
How's that going for you?
I hate the winter. I can't wait for the winter to be over.
I mean, what if I told you it's not even winter yet?
I know.
We're still like 18 days.
18 days. Yeah, I know.
From winter, even being it's still fall.
It's not even super cold out. It's just dreary.
You're just angry. You're miserable.
It's Eeyore outside is what it is. It's dreary. But
all right.
It was a fun day inside Fifth Third today.
It was a pretty good day inside Fifth Third today. Things were enticing, if you will. What Bearcats win 99-62 over Florida Gulf Coast. They score 49 points in the first half. They score 50 points in the second half. They could have gotten over 100 easily, but that's not how Wes does things. But I'll turn it over to you, Aaron. What do you think? What are your takeaways from today?
I love starting the game off with an alley-oop. We should do that every game. Well done. Aziz had several dunks today. So I certainly like that. Are we calling him Lakin now for fun, or are we going to go back to Lockin now?
I think we can go back to Lockin. I mean,
we run its course.
We had our fun out of Lakin. I used it a couple times today, before and after the press conference. So yeah, I think we can put Lakin to rest for now. Unless you want
bed.
Yeah.
No. I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page as everybody else. Didn't want to be the only one standing outside like Will Smith in the last episode of Fresh Prince. But so Lockin had a couple putbacks. Like to see that. Was this the Odie game or was this the CJ Frederick game? I think Frederick had his game earlier. I think this was the Odie game.
I would still go CJ. It felt like his shooting was really like what kind of opened it up in that first half to kind of like create some separation after the first like 6-7 minutes. And then he kept it going in the second half. So I'll go CJ this time, but Odie hit a three. Played good defense. Like he had a very good game.
That was one of the things that over the course of the last couple games, obviously we've seen this team now score. I think was it 85 plus in what 6 straight? Is it 6 straight now?
It feels like it. No, they didn't score 85, or they did. That's right, because they had overtime. I don't count Howard as scoring 85.
Regardless, the final score
74 in regulation.
The final score showed over 85 in what is now 6 straight games, I believe. That said, I still think that their defense has been very impressive. Obviously the offense has, that shows up on the final score, but defense has been fun. Today they caused some chaos, especially first half. I would like to see, and I guess that's my one criticism of this team, is when they get a big lead in the first half, I think it's tough for them to keep their foot on the gas.
Sometimes I just don't know what they were at 49-26 at halftime.
I know, but
the gas do you want their foot to be, Aaron?
When you are up, when you have the team at 26 points in the first half and you allow them to get up to 62, I would like to see them defensively, especially, keep their foot on the gas. I feel like they kind of just get a little lax. I don't know that they're going to be able to do that come conference.
Aaron, you understand how hard it is to be
I do.
Locked in every second when you're up 35 or 40.
I'm just saying that's my one criticism of this team. And obviously you like to see, going back in hindsight, the Georgia Tech game now, as they have now beaten Mississippi State and Duke. And that was a team that we beat by 30 plus. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. That would be, again, my only criticism of this team right now.
Offensively, just efficient. They shot for the game 58%, 57% from the floor. They were 39 of 69. Nice. 58% from three, 11 of 19, and 77% from the free throw line, 10 of 13. They had 23 assists, I think it was. Yeah, 23 assists on 39 made baskets. They won the rebounding battle 46-23. They had as many defensive rebounds as They had
30 defensive rebounds.
Yeah, they have more defensive rebounds than Gulf Coast had rebounds. Actually, they have more offensive rebounds than Gulf Coast had defensive rebounds.
Yes.
Yee.
I too.
Yee. So yeah, I mean, just all in all, very encouraging. Especially, I'll get right to my main thing, Aaron. Steve Moss is out.
Yeah,
he got hit by a
car.
He's probably going to miss a game.
Sure.
Dan scored 3. John Newman scored 7.
Dan's game was so fun today, though.
It was. But I'm talking points, right? Like just general production. CMOS is out. Dan scores 3. Newman scores 7.
And you scored 99.
Effortlessly, 99. Like, without really stressing, you scored 99. That's...
I thoroughly enjoyed the bookend by Aziz as he started the game off with the alley-oop and ended the game with the 2 block shots.
Yeah.
That was super fun. Or was that the end of that was the end of the game, wasn't it? Right? No, end of the first half?
No, the 2 blocks were
late in the game.
I think they were right before the half.
Yeah, end of the first half. That was
right at the end of the first half.
Because they had all bench guys outside of Reed and
No, it was at the end of the first half because it was literally what kept them from kept them at 26 going into the locker room.
And then locking with the heave there at the end that didn't go.
Yeah.
But my biggest takeaway from this game, I think, is it time to have the conversation already? Is Jizzle a better point guard than Day-Day?
No. But I think here is what is more comforting than just about anything else is that Day-Day hasn't been at his best the past 2 games, and Jizzle stepped up. And guess what, Aaron? There's going to be games where Jizzle's not at his best, and you're going to need Day-Day to step up. I'm not going to overreact to 2 games, but I am going to say I'm getting more and more comfortable about what they're going to get at point guard over any given 40 minutes.
The fact that we're even able to ask that question without you laughing at me, though, I think is a good thing. And it's not because Day-Day's inept or bad at point guard.
No.
It's simply they're both continuing to elevate their games, and you're just wondering. Well, I'm just wondering. I feel like that day is going to come at some point this season. I guess I'd be surprised.
I don't know. Like, I'm not. Again, we've watched Day-Day not play as well as he did the first 6 games, the last 2. It's going to take more than 2 for me to say it's a trend. But we've also seen Jizzle take advantage of that and step up and play really, really well. Like, there's a couple moves he had today. I was sitting with Keegan. There's a couple moves he had today that was like, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. It ain't here yet, but it's coming.
And it sounds like in the pressers, I didn't listen yet to today's presser, but I know that it sounds like Coach has been second guessing himself about situations where he's got Day in instead of Jizzle and vice versa.
I don't think he was second guessing himself. I think he was just acknowledging, like, you know, that I have two good options. Like Day has earned it to this point, and he got those minutes because he's earned it. But guess what? Now the other guy is saying, "Hey, I would like to earn it too." That's when situations are ideal, right? When you got two guys that are both like, "Look, it's my spot, and I don't intend on going down lightly." They compete, they get after it. I love that about both of them. I talked about that all the way back to the summer. Every time you saw an open gym, they were across from each other every game, and they weren't given an inch. Like both of them are competitive as shit.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. Like I said, the fact that we're having this conversation is not a knock on either player. It's simply the fact that they're both elevating their games. So it's fun to see.
Is Jizzle the best freshman since Lance? That Gary Clark guy was really, really good. And I don't know if you remember or not, but Jared Cumberland also as a freshman was beast.
We talking true freshman or redshirt freshman?
I mean, does it matter?
Yeah, because I think Vic as a redshirt freshman was actually really good also, and he's still on this team.
Yeah, Vic was probably like 20 at that point, though, like a little different.
Regardless.
I Jizzle's very good, but he's 8 games into his career and he's had 2 good games in a row. Like let's just a little. SK was good as a redshirt freshman. Yeah, but we're going back a while.
Spell my name right. It's on the screen.
I mean, that was on purpose.
So was blocking comments for 5 minutes.
She had to know that was coming. Just looking through, I thought pace was good throughout. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Vic loaded the stat sheet. He ended up 19 points, 8 of 10 from the field. Made the only shot he took behind the arc. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. 9 rebounds, 6 assists, only 2 fouls, a block, a steal, and that's a fantastic day.
Very good. In fact, very, very good. Just trying to remember all this stuff from my brain during the day. Only allowed 3 free throws. Like they only fouled 10 times the entire game. Or 10 or 11 times the entire game. So that is, as I pointed out to the head coach in the post game, that is important when you're going in to play Xavier, who lives off getting to the line. Like that is one of the major things that they focus on every year. They want to make more free throws than you take. So being able to defend effectively and not foul, I thought was an important takeaway from this game. Anytime your opponent only gets 3 free throws, they're going to struggle to score as long as you're just not historically bad on D. I'll tell you this though, the Kelman kid for Gulf Coast,
he was good. He was good.
Both hands, both shoulders, good feet, soft touch. Like I liked him a lot.
Gulf Coast didn't foul very much either, though. They ended up with only 10 fouls, but Cincinnati did capitalize on those fouls, getting to the line 13 times. So just the refs weren't calling a ton. Not that either team was. I don't think either team was like crazy physical or anything, but just they let the kids play.
Yeah, it was a lot of passing. as opposed to a lot of isolation one-on-one play.
Sure.
So you're going to have less, when guys aren't over aggressive trying to get downhill.
Man up, yeah.
But yeah, kind of felt bad for Gulf Coast towards the end. You could tell they were worn out, hands on hips. I mean, they played. 7.
Well,
8.
the broadcast said that they were dealing with a lot of they had sickness go through the team, so they didn't even know who all was going to be available. It looks like they did run through 9.
They played 8. The 9th guy was in at the end for mop up time, I think.
Okay. The 5 minutes
they
played.
Standard. They played 8, but one of those played 14. One played 10. Everybody else played 23 or 23, 25, 27, 30, 31, 33. That's asking a lot of a short number of guys.
Sure.
When Cincinnati's, the player that played the most was 26, CJ Frederick. Newman played 25, Locken and Aziz 24. No one else over 19. So that type of barrage can wear you down big time.
Aziz led all players with a plus 33. The player closest to him was Jizzle at plus 27. And then Dan at plus 25.
I would guess mostly all part of that middle second half or middle first half run and early second half run to kind of put it away.
The first half run was 12-0?
Yeah, I think it was 12-0, but I think it was like 19 to something. You know what I mean? Like it was an extended run.
Yeah.
Largest run started at 9-8.
Largest run 14-0 actually. But
21-4. Yeah. It was 9-8, and then it was 28-12. So I'm guessing they were both part of that. that tends to really those little 4-minute segments, if they can, they're not going to keep doing this because they play in the best league in America. But against bad teams, when you hit those little 4-minute segments where you go 25-4, it really changes the plus minus calculation.
Yeah.
That's why it's more of a long-term thing, I guess. That's why people say that. Thrifty Walrus says his favorite play was the Day hit Locken in the pick and roll. Vic caught it on the move and then immediately threw the lob to Aziz backdoor. Yeah, I mean, Vic talked about that post game. He's like, "Look, they just gotta throw it up there somewhere, and he'll go get it." He did talk about like adjusting, like even Aziz learning, like Vic will throw you the lob. Like don't fall asleep waiting to rebound because he will throw it your way to dunk it.
He had a pass at one point during the game where he was near the top of the key,
where he hit CJ.
He just chucked it. It was like a fastball. I thought it was Aziz. But that was, I don't know. I thought that was the best pass of the game that I saw.
I thought it was one to CJ going down the middle of the lane. Like CJ was coming off a side ball screen and circled down the lane, and Vic threaded a needle right over his shoulder. So yeah, that was good. I mean, that's the thing offense is so much more fun. It's much more fun to watch when everybody is an actual threat to score.
Yeah.
Like it just changes the whole outlook when there's not two guys that you just hope the ball just like doesn't find or like immediately passes through. And everybody on this team, you feel like, you know what? I feel pretty confident they're going to be able to make a play, if not for themselves, for someone else.
Yeah, I mean, even on a day where Day wasn't shooting particularly well, ends up with 4 assists, 4 steals. Like, he's doing things off the ball that he's still trying to make sure that things are happening around him. And I don't know. I can't say enough good things about this team, how much fun this team is to watch, especially when they're moving the ball outside of that weird first half against Northern Kentucky.
It was like a weird 6 minutes, anyhow. CJ West talk post game. He told him he kind of needed to be more aggressive, and we saw him take. So far this year, there have not been many contested threes that he's taken, like with somebody anywhere near. Like, he's been taking wide open shots, and you could tell West kind of rode his ass a little bit because he was more willing. Like, if there was a hand somewhere in the vicinity, he wasn't just moving the ball. So I thought that was an important distinction from him, because they're even more dangerous when he's not just a decoy, or not just, okay, we're going to take your guy that you're face guarding him with and take him out of the defense essentially. But it works a little better, Aaron, when he actually throws in 3, 4, 5 of them.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt anybody's line, right?
Make it needing a second hand to count your threes, or getting to that point where you're thinking about needing a second hand, is usually pretty good. Yeah, he's 5 of 6, 6 of 7 from the floor.
That catch and shoot though is so pretty. I don't know. It's obviously you're not hearing the broadcast, but there was one he shot where Terry's like, "Oh, that's money," even before it's even in, and it's just like, yep.
You can. When they drop their hands, you can tell he was coming off a baseline action, caught it, and as soon as he let it go out of his hands, he dropped them and started running the other way. That's when it's like when you're playing a video game and you hit the X button at the absolute like
when it turns
time.
green. If you pay 2K, it turns green. Your shot turns green.
Yeah. And he knew it turned green, boy. he was trotting back the other way.
I don't know.
I'm just looking at the chat. A ton of tools for West to use. Lots of valuable guys with different skill sets. I think they'll be very good at matching up against teams this year. Yeah, I mean, that's the hope, right? Is you recruit a team of guys that can score, and then you figure out how to like have them complement each other, as opposed to, we got one guy that stands over here and isolates himself and dribbles the air out of the ball, while our other best player has to run off screens. So he can't run off screens because everybody's standing around. And then when the ISO guy doesn't do anything, and then the catch and shoot guy doesn't do anything, and then your offense just looks like shit. There's not a lot of that this year, because then they'll just start taking it to the rim and attacking downhill. And then when that opens up, they'll hit threes on you. Way more options this year. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you guys. How many, since, I'm not going to say when, but since then, that they just didn't have enough offense, that they didn't have enough guys. And this is now you're getting a glimpse of what it looks and feels like. I think today, Odie made 9 guys that have scored in double figures at some point already this year.
That's wild.
9.
Wild.
They've played, is that 8 games or 9 games? Whatever it is. 8-0?
8-0, yeah.
Yeah, that's 8 games. 9 guys have scored in double figures in that span. That's crazy. Crazy. Speaking of Princeton, Alex's little brother still dominating, 16-11, still undefeated. I love that kid. 7. The people are saying 7. I thought today was 8 for some reason. No, it was 7. You're right. You're right.
Maybe because we only play one game a week.
That's this week and next week. Not a one-man game anymore. Exactly. Michael, I said it here many times. I thought CMOS would be the straw that stirs the drink for this offense. And in a lot of ways he has been, but didn't have him today. Wasn't like he played and just didn't have his best game, but he was still out there and facilitating. No, he wasn't on the floor. 1 second. And they still scored 99. Yeah. Once basketball talk is finished, yeah, I'll get to.
I've got some thoughts.
I do too. I wouldn't do that, Matt. They haven't. The last time they won at Cintas, I was really skinny. That's been a long time ago. It was like 140 pounds. I've gained a person since the last time they won at Cintas.
Good God.
I didn't say it was a big person, but it's a person. I don't know what else. What you got? More basketball, Aaron? Anything else you want to get to? You want to?
I mean, I'm sure Brent tomorrow is going to want to talk all about the preview of the crosstown
shootout. Yeah. TBT broke the curse. We'll see.
I think that there's certainly some more reasons to be excited about this team going to Cintas than there has been in quite some time.
Yeah, but I felt there's teams that had a pretty good chance and then went in
Sure.
And at the second media timeout, it was 19-4. And I didn't want to be there anymore. That's why I just don't go anymore.
I don't blame you. Not even a little bit.
Do I think Odie's made 3 will make teams guard him out to the 3-point line? No. He's going to have to make more than 1. And I don't think he's going to get the chance to shoot many.
Now, he also was wide open later after he made that 3, and I thought he would shoot it, and he didn't.
It's not in his programming on, you know what I mean? It's not not what he's thinking about doing. But he doesn't have a bad shot. Like, shot looked good release, good rotation, splash. Let Odie cook. This week, finals week. I believe it is finals week. It usually is before the shootout. That's where they've always got the full week off. Yeah, I mean, college is so different now, man. Like, these guys aren't sitting in classes, listening to a professor, like, in a classroom with their peers anymore. Most of it is online. Yeah, it's finals week, and you're gonna have to take finals, but I don't think it's anything like what it used to be in terms of the structure of like being a regular college student at finals week. Matt will get to it. It's tomorrow will be crazy, but I'll have thoughts. All right. I think we can put a bow on basketball. We'll have they're off all week, so we'll have plenty tomorrow night. Everybody be ready. 8:00 Monday night. The BBP will open. So 2 weeks ago, we had Wes Miller. Last week, we had John Cunningham. This week, Steve Logan. So you're going to want to be there. I would count on it. I'm super excited to to hear Steve's thoughts like on this team and what it's been like adjusting to life as a broadcaster.
I agree.
College football playoff.
Wild. Well, should we talk about normally on Sunday nights we talk about the conference? Do we need to talk about the Big 12 championship?
We can. Texas beat the piss out of Oklahoma State. And that's talking Big 12 championship game.
What were your thoughts on the way the crowd handled Brett Yormark?
I didn't catch it.
They booed the ever-loving shit out of him.
That makes sense.
Sure.
Do you know why that makes sense?
Because he kind of talked his shit at the beginning of the season, kind of said bye before they had even left the conference. And it was fitting that the game was sponsored by the WWE. I thought that was fitting because
Texas fans hate him.
Sure, he was kind of the Vince McMahon heel.
Yeah. And the game was in Arlington. So, yeah, everybody in that, all but 12% of that stadium that were Oklahoma State fans booed the shit out of him.
Yeah. Quinn Ewers finishes with 452 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was
over 300, I believe, at halftime.
It's insane stat line. He had a great day. They also ended up with almost 200 yards rushing on the day, 3 touchdowns on the ground to go with their 4 through the air. Just a big day as 49-21. Goodness.
Spanked them and cemented their spot in the CFP. Number 1, Michigan. Number 2, Washington. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Alabama.
I think we're going to be on the same. We're going to have the same argument.
It is an absolute joke to have a team go a Power 5 major conference team go 13-0 and not get in.
Agreed.
An abomination. Just appalling for that to be something that can happen right now.
When you let Texas in, or I'm sorry, when you let Alabama in, I'm looking at the Texas game, and Alabama lost to Texas at home. It was a home loss, not an away loss. It was a home loss where it blows my mind that, to your point, a Power 5 team goes undefeated, but you put in a team that struggled against Auburn and had to win at the last play of the game.
They 3rd and 21 against 6-6 Auburn.
Struggled at home against Arkansas, which Arkansas at that point in time was 2-5. And I don't know. I don't and struggled against South Florida at South Florida, 17-3. So I don't know. I'm not here for Alabama. I think that the committee made the decision that you have to put an SEC team in and had to figure out how to get an SEC team in, whether for ratings purposes, whether for the fact that everyone is of the mindset that there is a Power 2 and everybody else, which they made clear when they left out an undefeated ACC team, which if the ACC is apparently trash, where it doesn't matter if you go undefeated, then I don't want to hear anybody banging the Clemson drum anymore.
Right. Clemson, it was okay. They got the benefit of the doubt. Why? And look, the whole the quarterback is out. Well, guess what? They still won a conference championship without him. And their backup, who is pretty good, who was out for the ACC championship,
concussion
would
protocol,
be back for the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
So
You know who won with a third string quarterback? The whole damn thing? A team that I hate to talk about. The team up 71.
Yeah. But here's why they could do it, Aaron. Here's why it happened. In a normal, like any year other than this one over the past 10 years, if they did this, it would set a really bad precedent for the selection of this event going forward. Guess what? This is it. It's done. No precedent to be set because it's done. Like it's erased. It's like it didn't happen. So
that's what's so annoying to me too, though, is the fact that they had to push whatever they decided on to do with the college football playoff. They had to wait until next season. Couldn't do it this season. Despite during COVID, we were able to get games scheduled like 5 days away.
Well, Aaron, you know the beauty of that, right? You know who held up it being done in 2023?
Oh, I'm very aware. It was the Alliance. The Alliance.
Pac-12 is dead. The
Pac-2.
ACC is floundering.
They're not dead yet. There's the Pac-2.
The Pac-12 is dead. Oh, the Pac-2 is not the Pac-12, Aaron. The Pac-12 is dead. The ACC is ready to implode any second now.
Well, and I want to ask you what your thoughts are here. How many years until Florida State leaves the ACC? I don't think we're talking years. I think we're talking months. we are several months away from them being like, we are independent.
Yeah. Irreparable damages. Irreconcilable differences. That's what I was going for. We have irreconcilable differences, us and the ACC. It's appalling. It's appalling. That's the best word I can come up with.
Sure. I agree.
There is, under no circumstance, should there be a team that goes 13-0, plays in a power conference, and is not in a 14 playoff.
Chad, do you know what the best SEC win was out of conference this year?
What?
Louisville.
Yeah, Kentucky over Louisville.
The same team that Florida State had to beat.
Yeah. With their third string quarterback, and did.
Correct. Unbelievable.
Ironically enough, I do think, as funny as that is, Aaron, like the flip side of that, I do think the committee looked at Louisville and said, how good can you be if you can't beat Kentucky?
Then why are they voted top 15? I think there were 14 when they played yesterday. Yeah.
Connor, it's not about the buyout. It's about the grant of rights. So essentially, the ACC as a conference owns everybody's media deal until 2036. And then it's distributed, however you want to term it. They are committed via their media rights to that conference through 2036. I don't know. I wouldn't imagine they can afford it, but they won out so bad. So bad.
I will be shocked. I think they're just going to take the hit.
I don't know that they would survive the hit. Like, I don't think you understand what the hit is in their situation.
Until they find I don't know. Maybe they find a way out. It's not like the NCAA wins court cases.
And I mean, they're already talking about a class action suit against the NCAA for leaving them out as an undefeated Power 5 conference champion. I mean, I think they're mad at the wrong people, though.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. I just cannot. I feel like it's less about it just doesn't matter if you lose. If you're one of the top 12 programs in college football, if you're one of those top 12 programs, it doesn't matter if you lose.
Florida State is supposed to be one of those top 12 programs, and they still got screwed because it was Alabama.
I wonder if part of that is, well, we are going to show, I told you already, I think it's the fact that it's Power 2, where you have to have Big Ten and SEC represented, and then everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, that's why everybody was perfectly fine with it going to 12, including the Big Ten and the SEC.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff says, I think the committee got it right. Jeff, I think you're an idiot. I'm not here for arguments. I'm not here for discussion. They went 13-0 in a power conference. They won their conference title. They get in.
Alabama lost at home. At home.
By double digits to Texas.
My favorite was Nick Saban saying, well, we're not the same team we were that lost to them and that played South Florida.
Are you the team that needed fourth and 31 against a shitty Auburn team? Because that team was last week. Correct. Not last month. Not in August. The team that almost got beat by Auburn was last week.
Outrageous.
And they had a loss. I don't care that they beat Georgia. Florida State earned their way in. You don't get to arbitrarily, and obviously you do, because it happened today, you don't get to arbitrarily poo-poo 13-0 major conference champion.
Well, and if we're looking at one-loss teams, is Alabama's one loss at home better than Ohio State's one loss at Michigan?
No, probably not.
And I hate Ohio State.
But Ohio State didn't. I know. But Ohio State didn't make it was more costly because it caused Ohio State not to play in the conference championship game.
Sure.
But that part I don't care about. All I care about is that Florida State had to be in.
Should have been in.
Had to be in.
Mm-hmm. And
it's a joke of a system that they're not.
Yeah, Tucker, we did finish talking about basketball in like the first 25, 30 minutes. Sorry about it.
Yeah, that's the problem. The committee has a problem if they don't have the ability to examine your loss. And if you don't lose,
that's the problem, Jeff, is it shouldn't come down to money and ratings. It should come down to what your resume says. And if you lost a game versus a team that did not lose a game, you should not be in. When you're talking Power 5 conferences, I mean, it's not as if Florida State has a shitty resume when the out of conferences that they played, LSU, they beat LSU when LSU was ranked number 5 because preseason rankings are fun.
Tucker, would I leave out Texas over FSU, assuming they keep Bama in? No. Texas beat Alabama at Alabama by 10.
They don't care what their strength of schedule is. It's all a sham anyway.
They won.
Beat your schedule. Yeah, they beat LSU by more points than Bama also. Common opponent.
I just don't understand. I can get it that everybody loves Alabama, like, the ratings, the numbers, whatever. Everything is Bama centric, but you didn't earn it this year. Like, you slipped up, and there was one team with one loss that was better than you because they beat you.
The SEC,
and the 3 undefeateds get in.
I think that the SEC and the Big Ten, outside of the top 3 to 4 programs in each one, are chronically overrated anyway. To boost they're
very rarely good.
Top 3 and 4 programs in those conferences. Again, when your best out of conference victory for the SEC was Louisville, we don't have a barometer to really tell how good this conference is until you get to the playoff.
Yeah.
And Florida State beat that team.
LSU had a chance to prove that wrong, and guess what?
They didn't.
Do I believe that ACC teams are looking for a way out this weekend? Yeah.
They've been looking for a way out the last 6 months.
Here's the thing, Jason. This now becomes, in recruiting, can't win a title there.
Correct.
Can't win a title. You can go there. You can go to the ACC and be undefeated and not play in the championship. Undefeated and not get a seed or not, get whatever. Now they're lucky that the 14 playoff isn't continuing, because I don't know how they would ever have recovered from it ultimately if they had that just hang over their head.
I don't know that there is a comeback from that.
Right. So luckily now it moves to 12, and they can say, well, we're going to be in.
Truthfully, I don't know that if the 14 playoff continued into next year, I don't know if the Big 12 gets in with an undefeated team either. With Oklahoma and Texas being gone.
Yeah, we'll see. It depends on what else was happening,
Sure. I'm just saying I could see the same situation happening again, but thank God we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Does it hurt recruiting in the Big 12? How? I don't understand, Connor.
I think the same point that I was making was with Texas and Oklahoma being gone. Would you?
But there's no proof of it.
Sure.
That's just blah 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 blah. Until it happens, they can't really hang it over your head.
Correct.
And say, you know what I mean? It was hung over Cincinnati's head. They can't, throughout the beginning 3 quarters of Luke's tenure. Don't go there. You can't. You don't even get considered playing for a championship.
Correct.
Now you do. The proof is in the pudding. Do what again?
The blah blibbity blah blah blibbity
blah blah blibbity blah blah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot more on that. Portal opening tomorrow. For Cincinnati, most of the names are.
Did they end up posting any visits?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I think that information will be forthcoming, depending. They do like some of the portal stuff quiet. You don't want everybody in your business on some of this stuff. But
especially knowing how a certain team in a state below Ohio likes to just dip into their Kool-Aid all the time.
Regularly. So just stay on the boards tomorrow. That was an old Eminem thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
It was.
Okay. I was like, I didn't come up with that. Where did I get that from?
You did
get
that from him.
I knew I didn't. I was like, where did I get it from?
And Eminem apparently is making quite the comeback this weekend, as he has been the face of Fortnite. So
I'm guessing he made a pretty good chunk of change.
I'm sure.
To do that little feature. We will be in contact with our sources throughout the week as names go into the portal. Visits can start happening tomorrow. So there's going to be a ton of news, and you will want to stay locked in on Bearcat Journal as we cover all of that. Anything else, Aaron?
If the SEC is so much better than the Big 12, why is UK always biting our shit? Great question, Thrifty. Great question. No, I got nothing else.
Right. All right. That's going to wrap it up. We'll see you tomorrow night for the BBP. That's a wrap for the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
Blah, 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 blah. See you.